1.
President Deichen announced the lineup for the May 4th weekend commemoration events. What big names you can expect to see on campus coming up.
New Hampshire's presidential primaries are tomorrow. See how the results could affect who the competitive candidates are come mid-March for Ohio's primaries.
And foggy conditions and subtle rain set in all across Portage County and northeast Ohio today. More snow is on the way later this week. Stick around and I'll let you know when you're going to need your snow brush again.
This is TV2 News.
Portage County, and thanks for joining us this Monday evening. I'm Maddy Haberberger.
And I'm Rachel Gross. We start off today with a huge announcement from the university.
During the Faculty Senate meeting this afternoon, President Deichen announced some notable May 4th commemoration events that will take place this spring. The weekend of special events for the 50th commemoration will include appearances from Harvard professor Lawrence Tribe and historian Eric Foner.
On May 2nd, two-time Academy Award-winning actress and activist Jane Fonda will speak at the Mack Center as part of the Presidential Speaker Series. President Deichen told the faculty that Fonda was thrilled to be part of the weekend.
She was very quick to accept our invitation. She was very honored to accept our invitation. And there is a historical continuity there because Jane Fonda visited our campus and participated in one of the early May 4th vigils and observances.
Now, in addition to the speakers, a benefit concert will be held in the Student Center Ballroom on May 2nd. All proceeds from the concert will support the newly created May 4th Legacy Scholarships, honoring the victims of the May 4th shooting.
The scholarships will be given to students in Kent State's School of Peace and Conflict Studies. The artist lineup for the concert is expected to be announced as early as the end of this week.
At a time when our country is not only divided, but noisily so, we have the opportunity to share the painful lessons of Kent State and point toward the benefits of respectful dialogue and reconciliation, and to remind everyone what can happen when rancor and polarization replace free speech and reasoned conversation.
Stick with TV2 and Kent Wired on social media for additional details about upcoming May 4th commemoration events.
A 20-year-old woman faces several charges after a February 3rd incident at a residential hall. Kent State student Kayla Shreve allegedly pushed past and assaulted a resident of Liebert Hall. 3 police officers responded to the incident. According to KSU police, the woman hit the victim on his cheek and punched him in the chest. Shreve faces charges of burglary and assault, to which she pled not guilty for, and was released on 10% of a $50,000 bond. And now Macy's is making more changes and decisions to its corporation as local malls continue to weaken.
That's right, and our reporter Shaquiena Davis is live at Macy's in Stow with more. Shaquiena?
Thanks, Maddie. As you can see behind me, I am at the Macy's in Stow where they are in their final clearance sale. Now, Macy's has decided to take 125 of its department stores out of weaker malls. And over the course of 3 years, these changes are expected to be made by the corporation, along with cutting out of the malls. Macy's is looking to shut down their Cincinnati headquarters and relocate in New York. And according to Macy's chief executive Jeff Gannett, their goal is to reclaim and revitalize what a department store should be. Now, Gannett believes that the department stores can still thrive if done right, and although weaker malls are closing, there are other malls that are still in good condition. Now, Gannett also says that Macy's will start testing putting smaller stores in strip centers. Now, you guys, these changes are expected to result in a $480 million restructuring charge. Reporting in Stow for TV2 News, I'm Shaquiena Davis.
Port Shaquiena, a 51-year-old man from Ravenna is facing charges for gross sexual imposition for inappropriately touching an 11-year-old girl in his home. According to police, the girl was visiting Gregory Oaks on November 29, 2019 when the incident occurred. Oaks was arrested on Friday and is being held in the Portage County Jail. His trial is set for April 21st. And an Akron woman was charged with felonious assault after allegedly dragging a 73-year-old woman with her car. Alana Curvin had borrowed a family member's car and gotten into an argument with the woman. She then drove off with that family member hanging onto the car's door handle. The woman was found in her driveway and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Curvin is charged with felonious assault and domestic violence, and a warrant has been issued for her arrest.
After almost a year and a half of construction on Akron's Main Street, the end is finally in sight. The road and sidewalk construction project is now 6 months from completion. Mayor Dan Horgan announced last week that the time-consuming underground work had been completed, and the project is now in the final stretch. For more updates on the project and others in the city, you can visit driveakron.com. And Northeast Ohio's very first transgender clothing store has opened. Members of Margie's Hope Foundation launched the store to give members of the transgender community a safe and comfortable shopping experience. Shoppers have revealed that finding clothes while transgender can be an unfamiliar or scary trip. But Margie's Hope Foundation aims to allow shoppers to have assistance when picking out and trying on clothing.
Well, everyone, we had such dreary skies today across Northeast Ohio and in portions of Portage County, and lots of fog has developed over the course of the last few hours. And this is because we had a cold front passing through, and it's still passing through as late as tonight, but this has left us temperatures and the fog up into the upper 30s, especially in Canton, 39, almost peaking up into the 40s, 34 in Sandusky, and 35 in Cleveland. So that's kind of the big picture for today. Our temperatures are going to stick around just above the freezing point into the upper 30s, and all this cloud coverage across portions of Northeast Ohio, and you can't even barely see it with all this cloud coverage of Northeast Ohio and even the state of Ohio and our neighboring states, Indiana and Pennsylvania, with all this cloud coverage out there. So you saw the dreary skies today. I saw the dreary skies today, and you're wondering when's this going to affect us later on? Well, it will later this week. But we're going to have temperatures tonight sticking into the 35s because of this cloud coverage. All that cloud coverage is keeping our temperatures down and keeping all of that radiation from the sun back into our atmosphere. So our temperatures tonight should be into the mid 30s to lower 30s. So this coming week, we are going to have a lot more of a wintry mix and a lot more rain coming our way, and even some very cold temperatures into the teens. Stick around and I'll let you know when you're getting that snow brush once again.
Thank you, David. Now, the former superintendent of Windham High School was sentenced yesterday to 10 years in prison for sexually assaulting 2 male students while she was the school's principal in 2017. Back in November, 35-year-old Laura Amaro pled guilty to 2 felony sexual battery charges and was ordered to register as a Tier 3 sex offender for life. Amaro will serve 60 months in prison after she gives birth to her child in April.
One Barberton resident achieved what we can all only hope for, winning the lottery. A winning ticket was sold last week at the Circle K in Barberton, with the winning amount being $1 million. The person, who is now a millionaire, wishes to keep their identity anonymous. And one Barberton official posted a photo of the ticket to his Facebook with the caption, "A $1 million winner was sold yesterday in Barberton."
I feel really bad about it, but unfortunately this is Youngstown and things happen like that here.
Near a Youngstown club this weekend ended with 3 people dead and at least 2 injured. Police say it occurred early Sunday morning when they were called for multiple reports of gunfire just after 4 a.m. at the Brothers of Power Classic Cars Club. The names of the 3 people killed are being withheld until the relatives are notified, and the investigation into the incident is ongoing. Still to come, a former Akron football player won big at the Oscars last night. We'll let you know what he took home when we return.
And high pressure sitting off later this week into the Midwest, and that's going to kick up some nice weather for us with some cloudy skies. But later after that on Wednesday, we're going to have a lot more ice, rain, and some snow. Stick around, I'll tell you when.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University, streaming online at kentwired.com.
upstairs?
Okay.
Connect to your next and prepare for the fair by attending a drop-in session Monday through Friday in various locations on the Kent campus to get your resume reviewed, practice your elevator pitch, and learn how to research organizations attending the fair. You can also stop by the Career Closet in Schwartz 262 right above admissions to pick out free professional attire to dress your best on the day of the fair. For more information about the drop-in session schedule or the career fair, please visit kent.edu/career or register.
Welcome back. A Lake Catholic High School swim coach has been placed on leave after facing accusations of sexual misconduct with a student. The Catholic Diocese of Cleveland released an official statement saying that the alleged misconduct is unacceptable and the diocese will continue to make the safety of their students their highest priority. This is a developing story. And a man from Cleveland who killed a mother during a carjacking will spend life in prison. 24-year-old Michael Preston hit Leslie DeJesus right outside of Archwood United Church after attempting to steal her van on November 15, 2018. Investigators found the van abandoned a few blocks away and were able to identify Preston through DNA left on the steering wheel. Preston turned himself in to police. He has no chance of parole for 23 years.
Ohio has received the grade of D for the strength of its gun laws. The Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence ranked Ohio 24th in the nation, saying that gun violence poses a serious risk to the residents of Ohio. Over 1,400 Ohioans die every year from gun violence. And Republican Governor Mike DeWine called for universal background checks and a red flag law following the Dayton shooting, but was met with resistance from GOP lawmakers.
The Ohio Department of Health is releasing a new online database that lets people track suspected overdoses in the county that they live in. The database is called Epicenter, which tracks the main reason for a patient's emergency visit across different departments in Ohio. The public health officials used this data in the past to detect different drug spikes in relation to location.
The Ohio Department of Transportation is experiencing delays in the road work on I-77 northbound. An ODOT spokesperson explained that contractors needed to extend drilling on a bridge support for it to be 40 feet deeper. And now ODOT is waiting for the weather to cooperate to finish the rest of the project. The crews need a few consistent days of the weather being over 50 degrees to do pavement work. This will affect the cost of the work, but the overall price tag will not be figured out until the work is completed.
Cybersecurity measures meant to keep hackers from accessing government websites could make it harder for overseas citizens and military voters to cast their ballots. One voter who is eligible to cast a ballot in Columbus recently couldn't access the Board of Elections website because it blocks traffic from Brazil. In 2018, 9,600 overseas ballots were requested, but only 7,500 were returned. Last year, Secretary of State Frank LaRose issued sweeping security measures in preparation for this year's election. 80 out of Ohio's 88 county boards of elections have gone through security upgrades.
It's just dreary outside. It's gross. It is just, gosh dang it is just not the great weather for today. Dreary skies draping all over, cloudy skies keeping our temperatures at a nice 35 degrees with cloudy skies for today. And right now across Northeast Ohio, our temperatures after this cold front passed through earlier today is leaving our temperatures up into the upper 30s, a little bit into the lower 30s as well. Low for temperature 36 in Lima, but that's not too bad for this time of year right now. Tomorrow is going to be not looking much of a different story as high pressure is shifting slowly into our Northeast Ohio area and into Portage County. Tomorrow our temperature will be 38 for one of the highs and will be pretty much warm other than that. Wednesday outlook. Now this is going to get a little bit dicey and it's going to set us up for some very nasty weather. And so if you run for about your Thursday and your Friday and into your weekend a little bit. So if you want to do all your errands, run your errands on Wednesday, and I'm telling you that's going to be nice. Planning for Valentine's Day, do all that running your errands on Wednesday. Get all those boxes of chocolates and everything. We've got high pressure sitting off, and that's going to make some way on Wednesday night for a little bit of some rain coming in on your Wednesday. Maybe it's a little bit of snow, but on Thursday, that's going to be the big indicator. Thursday is going to be a lot of windy, and Arctic air is coming in from the north. That's going to drive down these temperatures into the teens, and that's going to make your Thursday and even your Friday very unbearable. And Friday, we're going to have Arctic air with a lot of cold mix too and wintry mix, so that's going to make your Friday very, very bad for Valentine's Day. So make sure you keep warm later this week and stay dry.
A record-breaking flight took off this weekend across the Atlantic Ocean. How it broke records just ahead.
The softball team began their 2020 campaign in the Peach State of Georgia, and gymnastics won their 8th straight Friday. We got an exciting Monday sports block coming up.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Thanks for sticking with us. What happens in New Hampshire's presidential primary tomorrow could play a role in future primaries, but Ohioans, you might not want to read too much into the results. Based on variables like demographics and income, the two states are very different. It seems that the two states' differences may be represented moving forward. Ohio elected Clinton over Sanders and Trump over Clinton in 2016, while New Hampshire did the opposite.
And sticking with the primaries, 1 week after the Iowa caucus, these New Hampshire primaries are taking the center stage. The campaigning is getting intense, the gloves are off, and the contenders are turning on each other. CNN's Jeff Delaney reports.
One day before the New Hampshire primary, a fierce showdown and open warfare in the Democratic presidential race.
I get it, and he's a good guy. He's a great mayor. But guess what? He was a mayor.
Joe Biden bluntly belittling the experience of Pete Buttigieg, who served for 8 years as mayor of South Bend, Indiana. It was hardly a sign of confidence from Biden, who's trying to reset his campaign after running fourth in Iowa. The attacks were reminiscent of questions that rivals, including Biden and Hillary Clinton, once raised about Barack Obama during his 2008 campaign.
He went on to be president. Is this a act of desperation on your campaign to be making this assertion right now of Mayor Buttigieg?
This guy's not a Barack Obama.
Buttigieg shot back Sunday on CNN State of the Union.
Well, he's right. I'm not. And neither is he. Neither is any of us running for president.
After his strong showing in Iowa, Buttigieg is now wearing a bullseye as rivals try to slow or block a surge in New Hampshire, where thousands turned out to see him at weekend rallies. New Hampshire frontrunner Bernie Sanders is also taking aim at Buttigieg, suggesting he's in the pocket of wealthy donors. Elizabeth Warren looking for a New Hampshire jolt of her own.
We have one job in November: beat Donald Trump.
But taking a different approach, reminding Democrats to focus on the task at hand. And Amy Klobuchar drawing some of her largest crowds yet.
I am not the loudest person, but bit by bit, step by step, we have built this support.
Typically that will go away in April. We're in great shape though. We have 11 cases, and many of them are in good shape now.
The coronavirus continues to spread across China and the world. More than 40,000 cases in total have been confirmed in 28 counties, the number now at 42,500, and currently over 1,000 people have died. The only 2 deaths have been reported outside of China in Hong Kong and the Philippines, and 12 cases have been confirmed inside the U.S., but no U.S. citizen has died yet.
An Iranian missile attack has left over 100 U.S. soldiers with traumatic brain injuries. Reports say the attack was on the Al-Assad military base in Iraq. It's suspected that the missile was in response to the drone strike that killed a top Iranian general on January 2nd. The military has seen more than a 50% jump in traumatic brain injuries over the last month.
We're not touching Medicare. We want to keep Medicare. We're not touching Social Security. We're making our country stronger again. We're not decreasing Medicaid. We're going to have a very good budget with a very powerful military budget because we.
President Trump released a $4.8 trillion budget plan today for 2021 that uses the same budget cuts that he had previously. These cuts include ones that have been rejected in the past, like with the food stamps program. The budgets for Social Security and Medicare are untouched in the plan. Domestic budget cuts are meant to foster a balanced budget for the United States within 15 years. Nancy Pelosi, along with other Democrats, doubt the plan will pass, considering failed attempts to pass similar budgets in previous years. How did Parasite win the Oscars without a host? See what we did there? More on last night's winners just after the break.
I was living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good evening and all. Welcome to this Monday Sports Report. I'm Dante Centofanti. Let's start things off today with softball. As they begin their 2020 season this weekend, the Flashes were at the University of Georgia, playing UNCW and the 16th-ranked home field Bulldogs, splitting a doubleheader with them Friday. Saturday morning, they defeated Howard 8-1, with their second game being canceled, and again defeated the Bison Sunday morning 9-1. The team is back in action this weekend in Arlington, Texas. Gymnastics was in action Friday at the MAC, taking on Cornell. The team notched their 8th straight W as freshman Olivia Amodi led the team on the beam, vault, and bars. Senior Sarah McCarty took home the floor title, while senior Jade Brown finished in second place. The Flashes head on the road for some action against rival Central Michigan this Sunday at 1 o'clock in Mount Pleasant. In the first half of the men's basketball team's road loss against Northern Illinois Friday evening, senior guard Mitch Peterson suffered an injury that forced him to lead the game on a stretcher. He was reevaluated by team doctors yesterday, and head coach Rob Sinderoff said earlier today, quote, "We hope that he will be returning to practice later this week." The team plays Ohio Saturday at 2 o'clock at the MAC. Well, Browns defensive end Myles Garrett could be returning to the NFL very soon. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Garrett is expected to be reinstated by Commissioner Roger Goodell, but the league has given no exact date. The All-Pro defensive end has been suspended indefinitely since November for his role in a fight during a Week 11 game against the Steelers at First Energy Stadium. The Cavs were playing the Clippers the other night in Andre Drummond's debut as a wine and golder. We kick it to the first quarter. Jetty kicking it to Andre Drummond for a slam for his first point as a Cleveland Cavalier. Clips still lead 13-8, 15-8 in the first quarter. Then you got PG-13, says, "I will take the lead." Gives them an 18-8 lead. Still in the first, LA 24, Cavs 14. Get a jam from the newest Clipper. Marcus Morris made his presence felt in this game as a new Clipper. Then 33-16, Kevin Porter with the takeaway. Why isn't he in the slam dunk contest? Beautiful dunk as you get another look at it, twice as nice. Boom, in your face for us. Man jam slam, 53-33. Paul George hits a corner three at 22 points in this game. He was balling in this game just like LA with the Oscars. LA was balling in Cleveland. Lou Williams, Sweet Lou with the mid-range J, hits it, 30-point lead for the Clips. Los Angeles was dominating at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse Sunday night. Then Sweet Lou kicking it out to Landry Shamet in the corner for the Cavs' worst loss in franchise history. They fall 133-92. That is it, and that is all I have today for Sports Portage County. Be sure to tune in to TV2 Sports Show Sports Corner tonight at 8. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dante. Now, last night's Academy Awards were one for the ages as Parasite took home Best Picture, the first international film to do so in the 92-year history of the Oscars. The film from South Korea also took home 3 other awards, including Best Original Screenplay, Best International Feature, and Best Director in Bong Joon-ho. Other big winners include Joaquin Phoenix as Best Actor, Renee Zellweger for Best Actress, and birthday girl Laura Dern for Best Supporting Actress.
And the Oscar goes to Hair Love, Matthew A. Cherry, and Kara Rupert Tolliver.
Former University of Akron football player Matthew Cherry won an Oscar last night for Best Animated Short Film. His film Hair Love is centered around a black dad attempting to do his daughter's hair. The heartfelt film is normalizing black hair in mainstream culture, and what makes the movement even sweeter is that Cherry himself predicted this Oscar win 8 years ago. In a tweet made in June of 2012, Cherry wrote, quote, "I'm gonna be nominated for an Oscar one day," already claiming it.
A plane ride from New York to London normally takes about 6 hours and 15 minutes, but a flight this past weekend made it in just under 5 hours. Thanks to Storm Ciara, heavy winds pushed the Boeing 747 across the Atlantic Ocean to its destination. The British Airways aircraft reached a top speed of more than 800 miles per hour and now holds the record for the fastest subsonic flight from New York to London. And a figure that resembles Bigfoot was seen in Salt Fork State Park on January 12th. 2 local men were on a walk they take normally when they say they saw something that they described as hairy and ape-like. Back in 2012, Salt Fork State Park was named one of USA Today's top places for spotting, considering there are 3 known locations where people have claimed to see a Bigfoot-like creature in the park.
The newest addition to Kent State's entertainment department has 2 amazing shows under its belt. Kentcore airs Friday nights at 9 p.m. Let's take a look at a clip from their show this past Friday featuring local band Red Rose Panic.
Oh, baby, why you still got a heart left? Yeah. Oh, run, baby, why you still got a heart left? Yeah. So, oh, run, baby, why you still got a heart left? Run, baby, why you still got a heart left? She made it to the split and made her heart left and turned back like, hi, are you even high? I mean, it you gone, ain't you really buy? I mean, really buy? Cause old girl, she will and try. She wants to D like DVR. Or these my feelings never pre-recall. Get it right like however all. She never bored. Well, brought her up them thoughts and let them be so. So where they back and forth, I'm boxed in like VCR.
Well, that will do it for our show tonight.
Be sure to stick around for an all-new episode of Sports Corner tonight at 8. I'm Rachel Gross.
And I'm Maddy Haberberger. Have a great start to your week, Portage County. See you next Monday.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.